and before you can introduce to your friends or your families to try it out as well. Okay, so now without further delay, I would like to move into our first topic of tonight, which is the body sore and ache. Okay, so I find this topic is quite interesting because I'm not sure how about you guys, but normally I'll get from time to time, I'll get questions from my friends and also my prospect asking if, let's say, here pain, there pain, how do we solve it, or is there any recommendation from our Nutrilite Nutrition? So I'm not sure when you get this kind of question, how do you actually respond to them? Or do you actually know what kind of body ache and sore that we have around our body? So let us learn together tonight so that we can handle this kind of encounter. And also, even if I think it's even more useful if, let's say, we ourselves face this kind of problem or this kind of issue, and then we don't feel panic because we understand our body even better and we know how to actually tackle and give the solution to ourselves. So that's the beauty of nutrition knowledge, right? So of course, as usual, I don't like to straight away go into introducing things, but I think it's more important for us to understand why we will have this kind of body sore and also body ache, right? So let us go into this topic by just giving an introduction on body ache and body sore. So for those who are still new to this, or those who are still very young, don't have this kind of problem. So you will still face it, okay, sooner or later, all right? So it's important for us to know what kind of pain or sore that we will normally encounter in around our body. So in this picture, you can see there are a lot of different parts around our body which give us this pain or sore issue. So it depends on what kind of problem that we encounter. How do we know? Of course, we are not doctor, and I'm not going to teach you how to diagnose, but I'm going to introduce you what types of soreness and also ache that we will have around our body. And at the same time, I will also share on what normally cause this kind of sign and symptom on our body. So of course, if let's say it's serious or the pain is unbearable, definitely you have to seek the consultation from a doctor and seek medical attention. Okay, don't just try using your own remedy or all that. But this is more on like if let's say you already have a long-term thing that the sore is not chronic or not very painful, but you still don't know how to actually resolve it, and then you feel like sometime got, sometime don't have, so doesn't matter, don't care. Okay, so I think it's important for us to learn today how to actually tackle even all this on and off soreness and also ache. Okay, so when we talk about the cause of the sore and ache, right? If I ask you all, I'm not sure whether you guys know what kind of sore and ache that you might encounter on your body. Okay, there are a few types that are quite common, but actually here I summarize into few big categories so that we can have a clearer picture. So when our friend or even our family member tell us, oh, I feel pain at the shoulder here, and then we also don't know what kind of category it is. So tonight, at least we should learn and know what are the common category that we have. So the first type of the cause for sore and ache, right, is the muscle stiffness and also cramp. So this is a more mild one. I believe every one of us, we have experienced cramp before, right? And also stiffness. If let's say you always sit still and then with a very minimal movement, then actually you already keep putting the tension at your muscle at the same position. So that will actually create the stiffness and then the numbness sometimes. And then for cramp is a different issue. So cramp, it normally arises if let's say we didn't do a proper stretching or proper warm up or cool down after the workout, or sometimes it's even due to our diet also or dehydration. So these are all the causes for this first category. But what we need to understand is when we fall into this category, right, why we will feel the pain or the discomfort whenever we have the muscle stiffness or muscle cramp. So first reason is because of the blood circulation. So blood circulation will actually happen, the blood circulation issue will happen for both. Okay, if when it's stiffness, that means you imagine your muscle is always like stretched or always sustained in that position, then the blood circulation will become bad because it might be the vessel will actually contract because of the muscle, then actually the blood circulation will be affected. Or sometimes when it's cramp, right, you also feel that your muscle is being contracted. So whenever there's a contraction or what, it will definitely affect our blood circulation. And then secondly, it will also affect the blood supply. So when we have these two issues, right, definitely that part of your body will feel the soreness or you will feel discomfort. So today, we will also learn why we get all this kind of feeling, not only knowing the category. And of course, if let's say it's serious, right, sometimes when your muscle is too stiff or you in that position for too long, it might also harm the muscle fiber because you like overstretch or over contract it. Okay, so when you overly do it, you have the muscle fiber injury. So when you have the fiber injury, definitely you'll feel that pain also. So that is the possible source of the pain whenever you have the muscle stiffness or cramp. So of course, just now I also mentioned it's due to the hydration. Okay, one of the detail is hydration. So if you don't drink enough water, you will feel cramp. Or sometimes if let's say you exercise too much that particular day, and then after the exercise also you didn't hydrate enough, and then at midnight you suddenly will feel cramp your leg or maybe the parts that you actually work out on. So it is something that very common, especially those who don't know how to hydrate back themselves after workout or after exercise. So today, I hope you know that in order to avoid this, later we will also share how to actually avoid and to improve all these conditions. So the second cause of the sore and ache is actually bruise. So this one I think is more common and I believe everyone should know, especially if you feel pain at that particular area. When you check it, you saw this bruise, then you know is the pain is because of the bruise. Because bruise is easier to identify because it's visible. From our eyes, we can see the bruise normally is green color or purple or red or blacky color because of the blood vessel damage underneath your skin. So normally it will be different color like this picture shown here, okay, with the other area. So if let's say we bruise, normally you will have this issue also, okay, you will have the blood circulation issue. That means just now I mentioned already is the blood vessel underneath that particular part, when you accidentally knock it or what, so the blood vessel already burst, okay, those minor blood vessel already burst. So you will have the blood circulation issue. So that will first cause the discomfort and pain also. So secondly, whenever the blood vessel or the network of the vessel being damaged, it will also affect the blood supply. So when blood supply or oxygen not able to deliver to that particular area in a long period of time, it will also cause the pain. Okay, so number three is whenever there's an injury, our body auto mechanism is it will make that part inflame. Inflammation is part of our body immune system. Okay, to prevent more pathogen or more outside bacteria or virus come into our body, because your body auto detect there's an injury already. So you actually inflame or swollen that part to prevent further intrusion. So but the bad side is actually the inflammation itself will cause discomfort and also pain to us. So that is the thing about inflammation. Okay, so third is arthritis and gout. So arthritis and gout, actually a lot of people have the misconception it only happens to the elderly or aged people. Actually, I saw a lot of friends who is same age or even younger, they have this issue as well. It's very highly relatable to your diet. Okay, so if let's say you always eat high uric acid, or you always take a lot of high cholesterol or high deep fried food, all that, eventually you will develop this arthritis and gout. Okay, so like I mentioned, you food with the diet or food with the high uric acid normally it will contribute to this issue. Okay, the retention of this uric acid at the particular parts of our body will actually create the inflammation effect also. Okay, so normally which part you actually retention at is normally at the place where the blood vessel is very small, and also place that actually further from our heart, from the central pumping system. So normally like this picture show, you see people who have the arthritis or gout, right? It's like at the leg, because leg is the most furthest away from our heart. So if let's say the circulation has been affected itself, so you will develop all this retention at here, and then you will actually start to have this inflammation issue, swollen, and then you will feel pain. Okay, so same thing, inflammation is the one that causing the pain and also the sore. Okay, but also when this arthritis and also gout, right, when there's an inflammation start to develop at your joint area or that, you will further create other new issue. For example, your cartilage will deplete. Okay, cartilage later I will also show in one picture. What is that? Basically, cartilage is the protection between your joint. Okay, between two joints. Okay, there's a cartilage that actually prevent the pressure. Okay, so it's a protection layer, the cartilage. And also, if let's say the gout and also arthritis become serious, you will also sometimes you will also develop crystallized material in your joint. So that will actually become very painful, because when there's a crystallization happen, you will actually increase the painfulness. So blood circulation also become an issue whenever I think inflammation, blood circulation, all that is closely related each other. Whenever you have inflammation, you will have the blood circulation issue. Okay, so all these add up together, you can imagine this kind of problem will actually cause a lot of pain. So now, up to now, we know 3 types already. So whenever next time got people share with you, they feel pain here or there, okay, we know better how to ask them and how to actually identify at least closer to what is the real problem. Okay, so number 4 is this one is quite serious. So for fracture and also slip disc, normally you will also cause pain and also ache. Okay, so fracture is normal. I would say the pain is quite unbearable one. Okay, so it's quite uncommon if let's say you have a long-term pain and you didn't realize it's actually fracture, because normally fracture you'll be sent to the emergency already, because the pain is quite painful one. Okay, but for slip disc, then it could be a long-term issue. So slip disc is normally happening around our backbone. So our backbone will have the soft tissue that actually cushion each of the joint between our spine, right? So if let's say whenever there's a not proper posture long term, or if let's say you fall down or injury, then the cushion already move the positioning. So that will actually start to have this issue that we call slip disc. So this will actually cause pain also. First one is the first detail is actually bone injury, which is relating to the fracture. So when you have the bone injury, definitely very pain one, okay? Because it will also, when there's a fracture happen, right, or when there's a slip disc, right, it will also cause injury to the tissue around our bone. Okay, so tissue that closest to our bone normally first is our muscle, and then also our other skin tissue, or that will also be torn if let's say there's a fracture or there's a dislocation of our disc. Okay, so it will cause tissue injury, which will also create pain. And then long term, if let's say you imagine, if let's say your bone is no longer in the original location, or even if let's say long term slip of your disc, right, you also cause pressure, unnecessary pressure to other parts of your body. So it will create that inflammation as well. So the next cause is actually the ligament injury, right? So this one is normally people will also like mix up. Okay, they thought the slip disc and ligament is the same, arthritis and ligament is also the same. Actually, all is different. Yeah. So for ligament is before I explain, I need to let everyone know what is the ligament. So ligament is another different part in our joint area. So you can see in this picture, right, between two bones, just now you explained about cartilage already. So ligament is basically the one that connecting these two bones. Okay, these two bones can work together is because there's this ligament that actually connecting them. Okay, so ligament, if let's say injury, normally is due to excessive movement or movement that beyond your ability. Okay, so or maybe you fall down, or if due to injury. So first thing is the pain definitely coming from the tissue injury, because imagine this ligament that normally hold up two bones, it's supposed to be a very strong tissue, but it still will be torn, or it will still be injured if let's say we really being hit very hard, or we have that impact very hard due to accident or whatsoever. So this will create the pain as well. Disable movement. So in a serious case, it might also cause disabled movement, because that's the thing that actually make your joint or that can move, right? It's part of the role to make it move. So if I say got injury again, you might not be able to move your finger or whatsoever, depending which joint that you have this injury. Okay, so inflammation, same thing, always appear. I hope until now you should already notice inflammation is the thing that will always cause that pain, regardless what kind of cause or which type of category. So lastly, not last actually, maybe got few other category which I didn't include here, but I would say most of the commonly known and also the general one has been listed here. So the last one that I want to share is actually the chronic fatigue. So chronic fatigue is I think also common for people who work 9 to 5 or 8 to 6. Okay, if let's say you are sitting very long hour, okay, you might say it's seems like the first one, right? First one, I just now we mentioned already, muscle stiffness, all that. But this one is more on like fatigue. It can be starting from your mental and also psychology that actually causing your body to have that pressure or hypertension or the contraction without you realizing it. Okay, so if you are too focused or you are being too stressed out with your work or all that, stress is the first one that actually cause this chronic fatigue. And then if let's say not enough sleep, or if let's say you don't have a proper sleep, always sleep late, will also cause. Then this normally is caused by the blood circulation. So regardless it's a depression, psychology issue, mental, keep busy thinking something. Okay, all these will without you realizing, you actually affect your blood circulation around your body. So whenever we have whatever part of your body that actually initially already not having a smooth blood circulation, right? And you are under this stress and not enough sleep, that particular part will normally give the first signal. Okay, for example, sometimes when we are very stressed, you feel shoulder feel very tight. Okay, shoulder feel very got the soreness, right? So it's because the blood circulation that first strike is that part, but it depends on individual. Certain people they feel it at the neck. Certain people feel it at their forehead and so on. So that actually also not so good. Have to be very careful, because it also give a initial sign of hypertension or that, right, or high blood pressure. So lastly, also blood supply will also become an issue. Okay, so all these are the details that will cause that your body ache or your body feel pain at certain area. So with this slide, I hope we are able to know better when next time we feel pain or feel sore. Okay, don't be panic first. Just study and also analyze. Even if it's not for yourself or for your prospect or for people who actually consulted you, I think the best way is actually to ask them. Later, I'll also share what is the flow if let's say we receive this kind of question. Okay, so we know already the issue. Now we want to talk about the solution, right? So solution is definitely relatable to the cause also. Okay, just now we mentioned about some of the causes, like you don't move often, and then if let's say you have excessive workout or you have a move that actually beyond your own ability. So all that will actually cause the injury and also cause the pain to your body. So now we want to study the movement habit. movement habit is something that we can actually treat it as a solution also, because when we do it right, it's a solution. Okay, but if we do it wrongly, it will actually make all the problem just now become worse. So the first one, we have to tell ourselves always warm up. If let's say not only exercise, if let's say today you just doing daily activities, right, you also need a warm up. Okay, so if you are doing housework, for example, you can do from those minor movement one, then slowly moving to the big movement one. Okay, so that one of the example that how to actually warm up your body to some movement and some so that you will actually get used to the movement before it goes to the heavy work, right? So that is the first habit that we should always remind ourselves. So second, avoid long stillness. So due to the COVID and also lockdown, a lot of people just work at home, and then they also just face the PC, all that. Like even now when we are sharing online, I think some of you are probably outside, or you are looking at your phone or looking at your laptop. Okay, doesn't matter, but it's just a brief one, right? But we have to always remind ourselves, especially when we are working on something long hour, as that means when we are working or you are rushing for your assignment project or your work. Okay, so always remind ourselves to move around from time to time. If can, every half an hour or every 1 hour, you have to move, stand up. Okay, so that the blood circulation is always can be more dynamic. You will not like stand still and then stuck somewhere, and then you start to feel the sore or stiffness of your muscle. So that will help. And then the third one is actually to practice coordination and also balancing. Then you might ask me, what is this relating to body pain or body sore? Of course, because just now we saw already one of the cause of the body pain, or that is the injury, right? So injury normally happen because we didn't do warm up, or we overestimate our own ability. And then third type is the one that actually accident. Okay, so accident sometimes we think maybe is unavoidable one, okay, because it's accident, right? But to me, I think sometimes some accident can be avoided. If let's say we practice coordination and also balancing, that means how can this be practiced? Normally is through sport or some of the yoga move. Or if let's say you are person to actually go outdoor, it will also help to practice your coordination and balancing, because when you are doing this kind of all these kind of activities, right, it teaches you how to actually balance up yourself so that you are not so easy to fall down. Yeah, even if you fall down, you know how to actually fall down properly. You know how to actually balance up yourself, how to actually land properly on the floor, all that. So this hopefully will minimize your injury on your body. Okay, so it does help. Okay, so for people who seldom do sport or seldom exercise, or they didn't do this kind of yoga that teach them how to balance up, normally if let's say people push them from the side, they might more prone to fall down easily compared to other people who have this kind of practice, right? So I highly encourage you all to practice that. So number 4 is the right posture. Okay, so right posture is every day, we not only when we are walking or only when we are working, all activities, actually all activities also, we have a proper or right posture to follow. Okay, so when we sit or when we walk or when we stand, okay, or when we want to pick up something from the floor. I will share a little bit more in the next slide. So the 5th one is listen to body, don't over the limit. This one maybe very similar to warm up, but it's a different, I would say. Okay, even after you warm up, sometimes you want to do certain movement, right? You thought that you can do it, but actually you can't, but you still force yourself to do it. Normally you will end up with injury, or you will end up with a ligament injury like I mentioned just now, or even if you fall down, you will knock yourself, that cause bruise, fracture, dislocated shoulder, arm, all that. Okay, so don't over the limit. Always listen to our body. If let's say we feel pain already, then just tell yourself, I'll progress slowly. I will not go straight away to that particular move. This is especially for those who are doing workout or they do gym, they want to progress fast. Okay, don't push too hard. Okay, because sometimes certain injury, it take a very, very long time to recover. So it doesn't worth it. I will rather progress slowly, but do it in a sustainable manner so that your body gain that strength, and then you slowly build a even more strong muscle, and then your posture will also not be affected, right? Last one is rest or cool down. So when you rest or when you cool down, right, it actually gives your muscle relax and then also normalize back to the daily activities. So that's the importance of rest and cool down. So if let's say you imagine you didn't do the proper cool down and immediately you go and sleep. So that is the reason why sometimes we see in the newspaper got people who suddenly collapse, or people who suddenly suffocate in their sleep or what. So that is we don't know what is the reason, but I will say that is two drastic changes in the activities. So we always need to have that progression. When we warm up, we do the hyperactivity, and then we have to cool down. Okay, or you have to have that rest gap before you move into the next activities. Okay, so rest and cool down is important also. Right, so just now I mentioned already, I shared already about the posture, right? Just to give you some ideas, what is actually posture, and the most common posture, I would say 60 to 70% of our movement and posture already shown here. We are either sitting, standing, walking, or just sleeping, right? So this, if let's say this four category, we are able to make it right at least, then I think that's a good start. Okay, so on the left, you can see we always have to try to stand straight or walk straight. Okay, so how to do this actually? How to know whether when you stand, you already straight or not, right? You can actually lean your body towards the wall. Okay, I mean your back facing the wall, and then you just lean your whole body close to the wall, and then you see whether you are able to uh, uh, whether there's any gap. Okay, if there's a not proper gap, that means you are either slouching or you have that not proper posture. Okay, so the last one is actually referring to exercise when they do squat or that, but I will say even when we are picking out something, right, you have to make sure our back is always straight, and then you have to go down if you need to. I mean, go all the way down to pick up something, right? So this is also shown in the second line. So in the second line, you can see that guy when you want to pick up the bag, it doesn't matter when it is heavy or is a light one, because normally is the misestimation that caused the injury, right? Sometimes you thought the thing is light, so you just pick up like that, but end up it's actually heavy. So it's too late for you to respond already. Normally you will strain somewhere. So it's either you strain your joint or you strain your ligament. If the ligament will not disconnect because of this, but you will be injured, or the muscle fiber will be torn, something like that. So that will all cause unnecessary pain. If let's say we do it properly, then this can be avoided. Okay, so the third line, you can see even when we are working or when we are driving, right, we also have to, or reading, we have to sit properly, so that make sure the posture is always right. Okay, and then when we sleep also, I know certain people will have their comfortable one. Okay, some people say I like to sleep like this. Okay, so if can, okay, I think myself also sleep very not proper sometimes. So but whenever we remember, just remind ourselves, try to sleep straight, okay, and if can, get the proper support for your neck and also leg, all that. Okay, and I just want to share one extra point, which is if let's say we exercise and work out our muscle, right, it will help to improve posture actually. Okay, I don't have enough time, otherwise I can actually share one of my own picture that before I undergo the workout, I do take the before photo, right? And after photo, not only I realize the body weight different and I lose my body fat, all that, but I actually notice my posture also improve after I do workout, or after I work out on our muscle. So in this picture, actually it shows and actually proves that whenever we have a stronger core muscle, and also especially at the back muscle, back muscle is the one that we always seldom train. That is why you can see hunchback and also slouch is a very common issue for a lot of people. Not only because they are working always like that posture, but at the same time, because we seldom train our back muscle. So if let's say your back muscle is strong, right, it will actually help you to pull your body straight also. Okay, you can see sometimes in the online website, people are selling those vests that actually help you to correct your posture, right? So the purpose of that vest is actually like tighten your back so that you can stand straight, right? But you actually don't need that if you're willing to train your own back muscle. Okay, so this is just some of my findings that I wish to share with you all. So train and maintain muscle to improve your posture. You also have to prevent slouch, like I mentioned just now. You will be surprised that if you train properly or you have the training regularly, you will slowly improve your slouch issues. And you also have to fight fatigue and also soreness, because sometimes when we feel fatigue and soreness at our shoulder or at your back, or sometimes go to your neck, it's because the muscle at that area is not enough to sustain that tension and also that stress also. So when you train it regularly, it actually gives a better strength and also it have a better sustain power. Okay, so you don't easily feel a bit only you feel sore already. Okay, so I mean, there's a lot of aspect to take care, right? Not only posture, we also try to at the same time train the muscle. Don't let our muscle degenerate, because when it degenerate, even you keep a good posture, slowly when you age, right, you have that issue also. Okay, so the best is actually to take care everything. Okay, so the next one is also very important, which is diet habit. So diet habit is the very important that will cause this body ache or body sore issue. You'll be surprised that a lot of time, even without any injury, we'll start to have this kind of body pain or body sore issue. Why? Because our body out of material to manufacture things that's supposed to support all this structure. So you can imagine like your building, right? You need to maintain your building. Okay, sometimes certain crack already, you need to plaster it. Okay, or sometimes there's a earthquake, certain pillar drop damage already. You have to rebuild it, have to repair, right? Imagine that is your body, but you don't have material to actually repair or to maintain it. That is very scary, right? But I can tell you, it happens to many people. Okay, a lot of people just don't care. They just feel that as long as I eat, I feel full, enough already. But if let's say we come to learn today, right, we all know it's not just about eating and get full. It's about eating right, getting the nutrition that required to give your body that material to build whatever is required. So today's topic, if we are talking about body sore, body pain, what kind of material that actually can prevent our body from encountering this so often. So I will summarize it into few here. Of course, not limited to here, because we all know nutrition work hand in hand together. Okay, if you have protein, you need vitamin B to better absorb it or better absorb it. Okay, but today we cannot cover everything. I will only share the main ingredient that is very important for this body sore and the body pain issue. So from the left, you can see calcium. Okay, we know calcium very well. It actually is the main ingredient for our bones, right? So whether do we eat things that come with calcium, like shown in the picture here, do we eat very often, daily basis? Okay, we ask ourselves. So if let's say long term we lack of this kind of material to our body, right, what will happen? Okay, nothing will happen. You will not feel anything until something happens, like suddenly you fall down, you fracture very easily. Okay, because all this while you didn't replenish the bone. Then if you didn't go for the body checkup, you don't know your bone density has dropped dramatically. So you won't know until something happened, right? Or some accident. Okay, why certain people can still alive, can even crawl out. Some people already fractured, cannot move already, and then stuck in the car, and then suddenly the engine burned, and then they die. So don't see all these things too small, because it might save you or it might make a difference between whether you survive an incident or not. So it's not a very expensive thing. Just make sure you have a diet of this calcium, right? And then second is magnesium. Magnesium is important also in this topic, because when we talk about the first cause, if you still remember, when we talk about muscle stiffness and also cramp, right? This is caused by, of course, dehydration is one of it. Second is because if let's say we lack of one mineral, magnesium, it will also cause this kind of cramp and also muscle stiffness. Because magnesium is one of the mineral that will give the muscle to have that calm effect and also soothe our nervous system, right? On the right hand side is the bigger portion, which is the very important protein. I didn't put the picture because protein can come from a lot of things, right? Like meat, milk, plant-based, soy, beans, all that, okay? And of course, anti-inflammation. And anti-inflammation, we know is very important already now, because just now I already shared with you all the category. The pain and the sore is coming from because our body developed that inflammation effect, right? So if how to actually reduce that inflammation, because a lot of time that is our body reaction, but if it's over, then it causes a lot of pain. So we need to have that anti-inflammatory agent inside our body also to actually strike a balance. So that anti-inflammatory things is like we can see here at the bottom, like also salmon, avocado, olive oil, blueberry, this red color thing, all that is also high in antioxidant and anti-inflammatory at the same time. Glucosamine is also one of the very important material, okay, for the manufacture of important the liquid between our joint that act as a lubricant. So how do we know we get enough of all these things? Calcium, magnesium, protein, glucosamine, and also anti-inflammatory. Okay, you just look at this picture. Okay, see whether today you got eat all this or not. If let's say not, then I will say likely we are having that gap. Okay, when we have that gap, again, like I said, if nothing happen, touch wood, nothing happen, you won't feel it. If something happen, you are the one that will actually feel the pain the most. All right, so first, this is according to my own sequence, which I feel the most important one is actually protein. Okay, we are being educated that protein is the building block for everything in our body. So this is also true when we talk about this topic. So we can see our protein is the things that can, nutrient protein is the one that can give us that peace of mind, because if you compare to other protein in the market, they never list out what kind of essential amino acid is in there. Okay, only Nutrilite lists clearly to you. We have all the 9 essential amino acid, and when you have the complete essential amino acid, it actually tell you don't have to worry already. You don't have to like okay, I need to buy something else to supplement the gap, right? No need. You already have the complete 9 of it. So the 9 of it should be there because each of it act as a different role, have a different function, as already being circled in this all different round shape on the right hand side here, different color, or control the different function. But today we just focus on few, right? Okay, the first one I would say structure. So the green color is the structure in terms of our tissue structure, our cell structure. Okay, it helps. So when our structure is always firm and strong, right, eventually our body posture, our density of the bone, our joint, all that will be in good shape. Okay, so that will actually help in terms of preventing body pain and body sore. Okay, and then second circle that I want you to focus on is the orange color one, which is muscle. So muscle, we know already. Okay, it's after bone, right? Muscle is the one that second support as for our whole skeleton structure. Okay, so if you have bone, if you don't have muscle, you will be like a jelly also. Okay, so you need to have both working together. One, you need to have bone, you need to have muscle also. So who make up muscle? Protein. Okay, so next I want you to focus on the energy. Okay, so the red color circle, which is energy. So energy generated by our protein also. So protein, we have few amino acids that actually contributed to energy generation. So when our cell is energized, or our body is fully energized, we can have better circulation of blood. We can also react faster, react better whenever we want to fall down or whenever someone suddenly push us. Okay, so all that is interrelated. So these are the three round shape that I will say relating to what we talked tonight, what we share tonight. Okay, so second, after protein, the second one just now is the one that glucosamine might, maybe some of you might have the question mark, hey, what is glucosamine? Why we need glucosamine? Okay, so now this is actually the new label lah. Okay, last time is glucosamine, now the name is osteoglucosamine from Nutrilite. Okay, so this is important because it improves the joint health and our mobility. How it actually do that is because, like I mentioned just now, it actually help to, is a building block for the semic fluid. Okay, so between our joint, right, just now we learned already, there's one cartilage, is actually the protection layer for our bone when the connecting joint place. Okay, but between two cartilage, there's actually a liquid. Okay, that liquid is actually to lubricate our joint. So for people who suffer from arthritis or gout, right, they have that inflammation. So long-term inflammation or injury at your joint, the liquid will be actually exhausted. So whenever the liquid being exhausted, and then at the same time, your body don't have the material to manufacture a new liquid to replace that. Imagine two bone keep having the pressure to each other is very harmful to our body. So you need to make sure it's always there, that liquid, to act as a lubricant. So in this picture, you can see even clearer. Okay, so these two bone cartilage we mentioned already. So the blue color one is actually the fluid that actually act as the lubricant. Okay, so now we also have this collagen product, which is a lot of us think, oh, collagen is for beauty, okay, for facial, for skin, all that. But actually, collagen is also the very, very important ingredient for joint health. So whenever we talk about joint health, we need collagen also. You can also take protein. Yeah, of course, protein can also manufacture the ingredient, also the ingredient for that. But this mixed collagen peptide is also a very small molecular peptide that will be helpful in terms of our joint health. So it can work also. It's a building block for our joint cartilage and also tendon. So when all this is in good shape, they always got the enough material to replenish, then you ensure it's always healthy at the optimal health. Okay, then the next one I will say is the calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D plus that we have in Nutrilite. Okay, so just now we also share already why calcium magnesium is important, because it's a most important ingredient. Okay, first, of course, the prerequisite for everything is protein. Then after that, you will need this, okay, calcium and magnesium to build your bone. Okay, your bone will only become stronger and healthier with enough of this material. Okay, so at the same time, if let's say it's enough, right, when you go to do your body checkup, you realize, oh, my bone density is always healthy at the normal range. There's no undermark or what. And of course, when it's healthy, it reduces the risk of osteoporosis. So osteoporosis, it will slowly affect our posture one. So when we age, right, your bone is weak, right? So you will not able to hold up your posture already. And then worse, if let's say something happened, you fall down or what, then you will break easily. So the fracture happen a lot of time for those elderly that don't replenish enough calcium during their young time. Okay, it's not during their old time. You have to start replenishing when you are young. So third is actually, just now we learned already, magnesium is one of the minerals that actually help to calm our muscle, prevent cramp, and also muscle fatigue. Okay, so you need this mineral. How do you get it? You need to eat a lot of seafood, like if let's say from normal diet. But if you today, we can supplement in such an easy way, why not? Okay, so number 4, soothe the nervous system and also help in stress release. So this will help also, right? If you remember just now, I shared the first slide, the last category that actually cause fatigue to our body and also eventually cause the pain and sore is from psychology-wise, your stress, your depression, or you don't have enough sleep. So imagine this one CalMac D, it can solve so many problems together. it soft your nervous system as well. It will help lah, I mean soothe and help your nervous system also. So when all this being improved, your body feel better, okay, less this kind of pain or ache here, ache there. Okay, so the ingredient is actually natural ingredient also from this purple algae, the calcified purple algae from the Iceland, as shown in the background here. So this is basically where we actually harvest this calcified algae. Okay, so next one is relating to the anti-inflammatory. So when we talk about anti-inflammatory, one of the very strong anti-inflammatory in the Nutrilite range is actually our salmon omega complex. So salmon omega complex also is like a one stone kill two bird lah, okay? It not only act as an anti-inflammatory, at the same time, it also help us to have a better blood circulation because it's a good fatty acid, right? So it helps our body blood vessel to clear up some of the backlog cholesterol, those bad one, okay, the LDL, and also those accumulation from the periods. So whenever this being cleaned up, then our heart able to pump, even if let's say our foot area just now we mentioned is very far from our heart, right? So, but if let's say the blood circulation is good, you are not easily feel cold, and then you less chance to develop the arthritis, all that. Okay, so if let's say something injury or something happen, you will also have to lessen the swollen effect. So eventually you also help to soothe the pain. So I just want to mention that our fish oil is also very exclusive and very good because it's taken from the Norwegian deep sea. So all from the deep sea. So it eliminates and also reduce the risk of the heavy metal already. But even if there is, our process of distillation is very, very high tech and also ensure the highest quality of fish oil in Nutrilite. Okay, so we also disclose 5 types of fish that we use for our omega complex. This is very, very important because you go to the other brand or you see other brand, you check the label, you know already. Most of the time, you only see fish oil concentrate. They never tell you what kind of species, what type of fish that you use. So here, clearly listed 5 types of fish, all deep sea fish, the high quality one. So here just a side note that will also help the body ache and also body pain. So first one is our BioC Plus. So how BioC Plus play the role here is actually help to improve the elasticity of our blood vessel. So when we have this vitamin C to actually improve the elasticity, hopefully our blood circulation can improve even better. And then it also acts as an antioxidant. Okay, so we all know already, if we are using the Asorara, the green harvested Asorara cherry, which is highest at the highest vitamin C during when they are still green, okay, not when they are red. Okay, and then for the coenzyme Q10 is also relating to our today's topic because this coenzyme Q10 itself, the CoQ10 enzyme, it will help to improve our heart strength because that is a main ingredient to help our cell produce energy, to help our ATP inside our cell to produce energy. So if let's say our cell always enough energy, our tissue will have energy, our organ will also have energy. So the organ that will benefit the most is actually our heart, right? Because our heart is the organ that need most energy. Imagine it keep pumping 24 hours until we die, right? So when the energy is enough, right, we won't have the issue like, oh, the heart is weak, and then thus causing your blood circulation issue, and then thus causing the blood supply issue, and then your body will start to haywire, and then you start to feel pain here and there, okay, because the nutrients never go to that part of your body. Okay, so it's worth mentioning also, CoQ10 itself is also a very high antioxidant supplement. So inside our CoQ10, there are also 2 other things that is very beneficial to our body. First one is taurine. Taurine helps to maintain the cell integrity, the intracellular volume, and also the calcium balance. So here you can see, I would like to highlight also, you can see all this nutrition is like working hand in hand together, right? So when we have the Q10, it also helps to ensure our calcium balance is there. So in Q10 also we have this L-carnitine. it helps in terms of our carbs and also protein metabolism, and also the fat transportation. When we say that fat transportation, is not the fat that we eat from our food, it's the inside our body originally already have the fat. So this fat movement and also transportation inside our body, it needs the existence of L-carnitine to happen. Okay, so all these three is a very good nutrition that work together to give our body that energy. Okay, that energy to actually pump and make sure the circulation always working good. Okay. Taurine and L-carnitine, maybe some of you will, taurine you will feel familiar for those who consume our XS product. So inside our XS stream, we do have a little bit amount of taurine also, which is very good because other energy drink don't actually give this kind of goodies, right? Yeah, so I think this is already coming to the end. This is the last slide I want to share with you. I hope it's a very introductory topic, but then also I hope it helps at least for us to understand better the types of category that we have, especially the first person that we should help is actually our family members, because last time whenever my parents tell me, oh, here pen, there pen, okay, I also don't know how to tell them or what to suggest them because I don't know that pain is caused by what or what. So I hope today, if we have this knowledge, the first person that we benefit ourselves, second, our family member and people around us. So this is a common question that I always get. My friend will ask me, oh, my father or my mother got this pain, how to solve? Normally, I will not straight away give a solution or recommendation, okay? I will suggest everyone to do the same also, which is to ask the reason, okay? First, try to ask the reason, because sometimes they know already what is that reason. Maybe they'll tell you, oh, my father got the uric acid issue, so got the gout or got the arthritis. So you know already, you don't have to guess yourself, right? If let's say already been diagnosed properly by the body checkup or even by the doctor, then that is even better because you can recommend even more precisely, right? So if let's say they don't know, they are also clueless, then they say, I don't know, then you can analyze the reason. So how to analyze the reason? First is actually, of course, to ask okay, ask which part, and then what kind of pain, okay? So just now we know different cause on different types already. So you will better understand or see got bruise or not, or got any different color formation on the skin or not. If I say no, you can slowly eliminate the possibility of each one. So slowly you can come to a point, and then you will know what is the closest one that actually causing that body ache or that body pain. Of course, you have to also understand their habit, okay? If they work long hour or they are under stress, they have to share with you also. But whether they share with you also, sometimes it depends on whether you know how to ask a good question. So I have the habit to ask them, okay? Don't so fast jump to the gun, want to sell something. No, our main purpose is try to help people, okay? Then number 3, identify and propose. Then only we identify already, we propose a solution and recommendation to the prospect or our friends or our customer. Okay, so I think that make more sense. And at the same time, with the extra information that we learned today, right, we can also give some extra tips like, okay, they can actually improve through movement habit. Okay, just now we mentioned already, what is the movement habit? If you still remember, warm up, all those things. Okay, take care of your posture. Okay, do practice coordination and also balancing to avoid future same occurrence again. And then diet habit, share with them, okay? Other than recommending supplementation, which is of course the easiest way, because you don't need to follow all the slide of the food picture that I showed just now, right? You want to buy broccoli or buy this olive oil, okay, you can buy 1 week but you want to buy long term, I'm not sure how consistent can a person actually eat like that. Okay, so but still at the we want them to tune to the better diet habit, right? So guided them what kind of food to avoid, okay, how to actually eat more healthier, which actually will reduce this kind of pain or sore problem, and at the same time propose them supplementation, which is the easiest and convenient solution, because it's cost effective also. Okay, you can imagine salmon, you want to buy 1 piece, how much? But one tablet of our salmon is So cheap only, right? Okay, so with that, I think I have come to the end of my sharing tonight, which is the body sore and body ache, which is the most common question that we always get from our friends and people around us. I hope after tonight, we know better how to answer and not only able to help people,